All right, y'all, we're back. It's Friday night of the Golden Egg Street Stock Challenge, the Mississippi Street Stock Series down here at the MAG. That's the Magnolia Motor Speedway in Columbus, Mississippi. And we've got everything ready to go. They've marked, we have to run the same 4 tires all night. And the only thing I did, these were new last night, and they feathered on me just a little bit. This left front didn't, but let me go around here. I was going to show you. I ran them pretty hard in one session, and you really can't see it, but they feathered just a little bit. And so I put some sipes in them to help, just to let some heat out. I put some sipes. I did a diagonal sipe on the rear tires, and then I just did a straight sipe on the front tires here. They marked those 4 tires. Got to be the same ones all night long unless I cut one down, take it to them. They let me exchange under those conditions only. So I bet I have to grind those tires off before the feature tonight. And then we'll run the other 4 new ones tomorrow night, the 3,000 to win race. Other than that, I didn't change anything on the car. I completely topped it off with fuel, but left it alone the way it was in the practice last night. It seemed pretty good, but I looked at the lap times and everything, and I'm off a good half second from the fastest cars in the group. And there are a lot of cars here. There's a lot more fast cars that showed up today. So making the feature is going to be the job for tonight. There are a lot of fast cars, and I already know out of a group of 20, I was off about a half a second from at least about 10 of those cars. So it's going to be a struggle starting out in this car to put this thing in the feature right off the bat. So that's going to be the job for tonight. We'll see how it goes.
Going back to what we're doing out here, a red flag condition or caution. No crew members are allowed on the track at any time. Crew member comes out on the racetrack, the car's flag. Starts and restarts. On the initial start of the race, we got a start box down there in turn 4. It's going to be 2 green cones. The leader will fire inside that start box, not coming to it, not before it. Inside the start box, no brake checking. On restart, there's a mag painting on the wall right there. We'll do a Dixie double file restart. The leader will be out front, the second place man will choose inside and out.
All right, guys, real quick, we'll go ahead and get started. First off, I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting this event. It's been a long time since we had over 50 street stocks at this event, and I think right now we're sitting at 52. So thank you a lot for coming out and supporting Johnny and Magnolia Motor Speedway. Real quick, the format tonight, we're going to run hot laps, then we will come back and qualify. When we qualify, it will be 4 cars, 2 laps, 2 groups. We'll do 2 groups. We'll run 6 heats, taking the top 3, 2 B mains, taking the top 2.
That'll conclude it. We've got 2 more in group number 1. That'll conclude qualifying for group number. Heat race number 5 coming our way will be the 18th car of Mario Gresham out of Rome, Georgia, on row number 5. On the outside will be the 2 car of Jason Dukes. He's out of Halls, Tennessee. On the inside will be the 27. That's Tommy Lowry. Start Tire and Auto factory stocks. You need to line them up. Factory stocks to stages are not there. is out. Caleb Vandergriff will bring him back to life up in turn number 3 and 4. Where's he going to fire? Right there he goes. Final heat of the night, heat race number 6. Kevin Spears out of Fayette, Alabama. Row 8 for 15 car. Joey Wood on Mount Pleasant, Tennessee with 22 cars. Josh Hartman got the big Kentucky. Row 7 outside the third car. The car that's going to be shown here, Tommy Lowry. Heath Minor, Brad Skinner, row 1. Here they come. The green and a checkered flag. Green and a checkered flag.
y'all, so we didn't make the feature. You know, last footage there was the B main. I ended up finishing 9th. Really, I was running more like, I think, 10th or 11th, and then they had a pile up right there on the last lap. They had a 1 lap to go restart, and knew that was coming. But anyway, so I ended up finishing 9th in the B main. They only took the top 2 out of 2 different B mains. Lot of fast cars. The B mains were full of fast cars. I've got to find another half a second, and I'm not going to find a half a second by, you know, changing air pressure or a spacer on a wheel or something like that. You don't get a half a second doing that stuff. I'm not either I've got to change on my shocks or I got to change on my springs. I think the first place I'm going to go is to my springs. So I brought my 150-pound 16-inch spring with me as well for the left rear. And I'm changing it tomorrow when I get back to the track. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to measure my ride height, figure out exactly where it's at, throw that spring in there. Because the biggest thing that I saw that the track is super slick in the middle. Like, there was a little bit of brown at the bottom, and I was okay in the first half. I could enter good on the bottom. In the middle I was okay, but the transition, I was struggling to get the car to stay down there on it. It was either wanting to push up a little bit, or I was having to throttle up and tail it out a little bit. And so I was on the brown, so I really wasn't taking advantage of it doing that. And then out in the black slick, I just was not getting the bite I needed off of turns 1 and 2. 3 and 4, a little bit better. But if I just ran out in the slick, just trying to roll the car through, couldn't get the car to stay rolled over, couldn't get the car to stay down on the right front of the nose and everything, which all of that is telling me that, you know, it's like, hey, you got spring issues here, you know. And so, you know, the 750 spring was a disaster at Camden on a rough track. Down here, running in this super slick and smooth, I'm struggling to get the car to stay tied down on the right front. So now the question is that, well, is that still too much spring? And I'm not running, of course, they took the bumps away. Now, I'm not running a spring rubber. I've had several friends that have told me, says, hey, we've went a lot softer, and we're coil binding these springs and running a spring rubber. So I got to look into that, y'all. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. It's a learning process evolving. So I got to look into that. I may end up going even softer on the right front, putting a spring rubber in it. And I think I'm going to look at the springs hard and maybe try to do some stuff there first. And then we got to look at shocks and go back to Mr. J and say, okay, how do we want to change? What numbers are we wanting to change? Because the shock process is an evolution. You know, so like, you know, if I'm still struggling with the right front, you know, am I going to change that? Get some numbers changed on that right front shock? Possibly, but springs first. I'm going to go ahead, just, you know, I'm off. When I say I need a half a second, I'm not a half a second from the leader. I'm a second from the leader. And there's 52 cars down here tonight at this race. This is the fastest cars there are in the Southeast in the crate racing class. No questions about that. But I'm a second off of the fastest cars. I'm a half a second off of what the median, the middle. In other words, what's the average and everything? I'm a half a second off of that. And so, you know, I'm not going to make the feature doing that. So, you know, take the time. I'm going to switch out the left rear, put the 150-pound spring in, see if I can figure out what makes that work, use the laps that I've got available to me tomorrow. I mean, you know, yeah, there could be, you know, it might work really great. It might get me into the feature, but I expect even more cars tomorrow night, and, you know, than there are tonight. And it's, I mean, this is some tough racing. You want to learn how to go fast, run with these guys. Woo, they are moving, y'all. So anyway, so that's the recap. I wish I'd do better, but it's the second race. We're learning, and hey, let's be honest here. I'm having to learn how to drive this cool car. I've been in a Leaf car for a long time. I got habits. I got ways I want to enter. I got ways to make the car roll through the turn and everything. I got to just scramble and scrub all of that from my brain and learn how to drive this cool car the way it needs to be drove. So there's a lot going on here. There's changes to the car that's got to be made, and there's changes to me that's got to be made as well. Anyway, we're just all along for this ride here. Hopefully we're going to learn something as we go through this process. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because we're just going to continue to go through these. Turn the notification bell on. You'll catch every one of these videos. See you next time.